Hello guys, this is a video recording for Thursday, April 2nd, solving rational equations. So I would say I would want to give a hint that this is something that you have to think about cross multiply. Okay, so let me show you a few examples and then I'll do two of your homework questions because I think you are responsible to be doing homework page 101 and with 6 questions, I think. Okay, so my example is 12 over x plus 5 equal to -2. And because we have just an equal sign in the middle, the left side we only have a fraction and the right side we only have a number, you can change the right side and make it into a fraction as well. Okay, and you can just cross multiply. So we have 12 times 1 equals to -2 times x plus 5. And then we have 12 equals, and multiply that in, we get -2x minus 10. Keep solving for this, then you should be able to get your answer. Okay, so we can add 10 on both sides. We get 22 equals to -2x, x equals to -11. Okay, and then we also need to talk about the restriction. Focus on the denominator. So my denominator is the only one that really matters is x plus 5. So x plus 5, if I set it equal to 0, x would have to be -5, right? So that's why x cannot be -5 in this case. Because if x really equals to -5, the denominator is going to be 0, which is undefined. Okay, so that's how you write your answer. Let's look at another question. 1 over x minus 5 equals to 5 over x squared plus 2x minus 35. Okay, so left side, can't really do anything about it. The right side, to make it easier for yourself, we can simplify the denominator first. Make it x and x, 7 and 5, positives and negative. Okay, so when I cross multiplied, I get x plus 7, x minus 5. The other side would be 5 times x minus 5. Okay, so you notice that we have an x minus 5 on both sides. Okay, so these x minus 5 get canceled out, and we have x plus 7 equals to 5, so x would be -2. Okay, so your answer is just x equal to -2 with the restrictions. Look at the denominators. Well, this is my now new denominators. So what are some of the numbers that x cannot be? Cannot be a 5, and it cannot be a -7. That's it. Okay. Show one more example. Now this example is a little bit similar to some of your homework question because it requires more steps. Okay, so now left side I have 2 fractions and the right side I only have 1 fraction. So left side, I'm gonna do a split like that. I can't do anything with the bottom parentheses on the left, but the second fraction I can break it down to 5x plus 1 like that. Okay, and then to find the common denominator, it would be 5x minus 1 and x plus 1. Okay, because if these are my new denominators, they have nothing in common, so I have to write all of them. Okay, so I gotta multiply 5x plus 1, 5x plus 1, and then the second fractions, I'm missing a x minus 1. X minus 1. Okay, so now if you look at the denominators for each of those, they are all in common now. Top, I can just multiply that in. We have 15, the 3 multiply the 5 would be 15 times x plus 1, and then plus 2 times x minus 1. Okay, and let's keep multiplying. 15 times each of that, 2 times each of that, we get 15x plus 15 plus 2x minus 2. Okay, over. Let's just keep the denominator like this first. Let's not multiply it in because maybe we can cancel out something. Okay, so combine like terms at the top, we get 17x plus 13. Over. Same thing. Okay, right side, we have x plus 1, x minus 1. So negative 3 over x plus 1, x minus 1. I can't do anything until the bottom part. So because now we have a fraction equal to a fraction, we can do cross multiply. Okay, so 17x plus 13 cross multiplied, and we just write them all together. Equals to negative 3 times 5 times negative 1, x minus 1, and x plus 1. Okay, it looks pretty complicated up to this point because um, we didn't really multiply everything in, we just cross multiply. But you can take a look. What can we cancel out from here? We can cancel out the x plus 1, can cancel out the x minus 1 on both sides. Okay, because when we divide it, they can be eliminated. Okay, so really we're left with 17x plus 13 equals to negative 15. And then when we subtract 13 on both sides, 17x equals to negative 28. X would be negative 28 over 17. Okay, it's a pretty long question. Now look at all 3 of your denominators. I can not have a 1 and negative 1. Okay, so you can say x cannot be negative 1 and 1. That's it. Okay. Let me do 2 of your homework questions on page 101. I'm going to do number 4. This is your question. And then later I'm going to do number 6. Okay, so before the equal sign, we got to make it into one fraction first. X plus 3, it's good to go. X squared plus 3x. I'm going to take out the x and make it x plus 3. Okay, so common denominator would have to be an x and an x plus 3. Okay, so the first fraction, we already have that x plus 3, we're just missing x. Second fraction, we're not missing anything because the denominator, it's good to go. Okay, so we have 2x plus 6 equal to 1 over x. Okay, let's multiply, cross multiply. We get x times 2x plus 6 equals to x times x plus 3. Okay, so these x's, we can cross them out. Okay, so we're left with 2x plus 6 equals to x plus 3. And subtract your number, you should get x equals to negative 3. Okay, and that's what we have done all the way until here. And now let's look at our restrictions. So look at all the denominators. What are some of the numbers that x cannot be? Anything that's highlighted. X cannot be, this first part, x cannot be -3. And then this is also -3. These ones are 0. So if I say x cannot be -3 and I happen to get 3 as my answer, that means this is no solution. Okay? Just because we could do our work all the way until the end, but when you try to put -3 back in there, you just get all these undefined denominators. Okay, so no solution is your answer for number 4. I'm going to do number 6. So number 6, the question is x over x plus 2, 4x plus 6, 2x squared plus 5x plus 3 equals to x minus 1, 2x plus 4. Okay, so this question looks pretty complicated. So I could say, first off, let's see if we can get rid of some of the things that they have in common first. Looking at all the denominators, the only ones that I can really work with is the middle one and the last one. So I can break the middle one into 2x and an x. And then to make a 5, we want to multiply 2 to 1, 3 to x. So I can cross multiply, we can add to get 5x. Okay, so those are your parentheses. The last fraction, that parentheses, I can make a 2 parentheses x plus 2. Okay, so look at everything else. Is there anything else that I can actually work with? You notice at the top, I can actually do something about it. I can take out a 2, parentheses, 2x plus 3. All right, so with all of this that I have created, we can actually cross out something from a fraction. So you would notice that 2x plus 3, they have that in common. Okay, so let's rewrite this because making this simpler gets us to the answer a lot faster. Okay, so this is what I have right now. Okay, so to make a common denominator on the left side of the equation, I can multiply x plus 2 and x plus 1. So that means the first fraction we're missing an x plus 1. Second fraction we're missing an x plus 2. Okay, so x times each of that, 2 times each of that, we get x squared plus x plus 2x plus 4. And it still equals to x minus 1, 2 times x plus 2. Keep going, x squared plus 3x plus 4 over whatever is in the denominator. Okay, since we have now a fraction equal to a fraction, I can go on and do diagonally cross multiply. Okay, so I'm going to rewrite the top equals to x minus 1 times x plus 1, x plus 2, x plus 1. Okay, get this is together, and then the other ones together as a group also. Is there anything that I can cross out from both sides? Okay, x plus 2, I can cross that out. And if that's the only thing I can cancel out, then let's multiply the 2 into each of these, and then multiply these two parentheses together. 2 times x squared is 2x squared plus 6x plus 8 equal to x squared minus 1. Okay, and then I move everything to the left side, cross all that out. I'm going to have a 0. Since we have squares, we have to move everything to one side and then try to see if I can factor it. Okay, so this is what I have left. If you were going to factor it, what would be the two factors? X and X, and you would have 3 and 3. Both of them are pluses, equal to 0, so your answer would be x equal to -3. Okay, but again, let's go back all the way to the top and check each of those highlighted denominator. If I were going to set each of those equal to 0, I would get from this one, from this one, if I set that equal to 0, I have x equal to -2. If I set this parentheses equal to 0, I should have x equal to -3/2. The bottom one, I should have x equal to -1. And last one, I have x equal to -2. Okay, so we have the -2 in overlap. So I'm going to write x cannot be -2. What was it? -3/2 and -1. Cannot be, so it's a not equal sign. Okay, so since none of them have -3, we are good to go. That's our answer. Okay, so I did 2 out of 6 questions for you. Try to see if you can do the rest of them. This is page 101. And if you have already got your invite to Google Classroom, please upload this to the new classroom. Okay, so new classroom and sign up, or actually set up your Lifeline email. Okay. I'm not going to make a video for the next assignment, which is quiz. So get it done and upload it. Okay. All right. Have a good day. Bye.